guys, it's Brit with Professional Growth back again. I first wanted to just start by showing you Flippy.net, which I kind of showed you in the quick preview. And Flippy.net is a free website that has a bunch of interactive, little kind of gamification things to help engage your students maybe during a live WebEx lesson or even a live lesson when we get back into class because, we are one-to-one for a lot of our students. So it's something to look at. I also like that they have like a demo, instructions on how to use it, and then the template that's free. So it's not like you're doing a lot of work, which is kind of nice. It's like already done for you. And, it just saves some time. So this is Flippity.net. They have things like flashcards, like if you're doing like a quiz show, like Jeopardy. Obviously, like a random name picker is sometimes nice. These randomizers. They have scavenger hunts, a board game, manipulatives that you could do if you're trying to have them do like an easy sort. And so the one I'm going to actually show you guys today is Flippity Bingo. Okay, and so you're looking at Flippity Bingo because you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm introducing a unit. And I want them to know the key vocab in this skills and concepts that we are working on for this unit. So maybe it's an introduction, or remember, you always want to know what is your skill or your concept that you're looking to do before you move into your objective and your target, and then, okay, now what is the tool? So you want to make sure that you're not going to look for a tool first and trying to squeeze it into a lesson. You kind of want to go and figure out, okay, what is my objectives for this lesson? What are my learning targets? And then, okay, this tool might be a good option here for my students to be more engaged in my live lessons. And remember, we want to make sure that when we are giving direct instruction, we know what that means. And you can't do a lot of direct instruction for little kids for very long. But I chose biology as my example today. So you do have a little bit longer to talk with the high school kids on WebEx. But remember, you're trying to keep it around their age in minutes and then let them do something or have them do something as you're talking. Okay. And then, so when you take lecture where you're giving them that information because you're the teacher, plus some type of active structure, and you put them together, that's where we get that high yield strategy of direct instruction. Okay. So I used the Flippity Bingo for this. Okay. And all I did was look at the demo, the instructions, and then the template. So let's take a look at how we could do this with a really quick buzz lesson. I chose biology module tool, the properties of water, mainly just because it sounded interesting to me. And so you would have them working through this maybe, or maybe you aren't having buzz on and maybe you are just talking through it. But I don't know if you guys have the students use the notes. But what I did for this bingo was I looked at, okay, properties of water in the notes, and then I pulled that up. And then just watch how simple it is. You're just looking for keywords or skills or concepts. And again, objective-wise, I'm looking for words that really have to do with compound, living things, hydrogen bonding, and then compounds that dissolve in water. So I, took a lot of words, but definitely if we're going to be talking about compounds, I would want to just take that keyword and Control C, and then I would go into my bingo template that I got from Flippity, right? And then I would just, maybe paste in ionic compound, okay? So what I did is I went through this unit, and then, sorry, not through this unit. I went through the notes that goes with this unit, and I just kind of looked at the key terms and phrases that I knew my students would need to know in order to kind of understand this section about properties of water. And I pasted those key vocab terms here, okay? These are obviously concepts that we want them to know when they're talking about properties of water. So now let's look at how does this work? Well, you put your skills and concepts here, and then just kind of ignore options. Just let that be what it is because you want to keep their template so it works. And then get the link here. First, you want to make sure you go to File, Publish to the Web. And it'll say that in the instructions. I've already published it to the web, so I can show this as a demo, but this would normally just say publish, and it would not be a grayed out box. So you want to hit publish, just let it publish, click out, and then what you want to do is click this link, and you'll see all your concept here. Do not click the X unless that's something you want to take off the bingo board. So if you're like, oh, I really didn't want molecule on that one, that will take it off. So checking the box does not mean add to bingo board, it means take away. Okay, and you can shuffle the terms as well. You could print these if you wanted to using PDF with a free space up to however many you needed. But since we're in the digital world right now, which would be what would be really awesome is if you took the link, pasted it into your WebEx chat so all your students could get to it. But what's cool about it is each student then would get their own randomized bingo board, okay, of the terms that you are lecturing about. So now we've got your lecture about properties of water plus some active student engagement, and that creates that great direct instruction combination. Okay. Now, what's hard is you might be lecturing and they have their bingo board up and they're not seeing maybe slides you're taking them through, or maybe you are just taking them through the Buzz lesson itself. And so you're going to want to make sure that you teach them how to do the split screen where you pull this over and adjust it so that way they can see both the unit, okay, and the bingo board. Okay, so obviously I have two screens, so mine kind of goes off to the side a little bit, so I'm gonna have to adjust mine, but they only have their one screen, so they should be able to just pull and adjust, okay? And here, so then they can see what you're doing and they're watching, but they're also very engaged because they're looking for words in the unit that they might be having in their bingo board. So if they come to chemical bonds, they might look and say, oh, chemical bonds, okay, I have chemical bonds. And then they're listening to you, okay, and they're actively engaged. Let's say that a student does get a bingo, okay? Don't have them unmute and maybe scream bingo because you could have a lot going on at once. So maybe you want them just to hold up a sheet of paper of maybe like a red piece of paper or a green piece of paper or something, and that makes them know, makes you know, I can't talk today, I'm so sorry, that they have a bingo, okay? Then you have them unmute, and I would, as a secondary teacher, and maybe even as a teacher of little, say, okay, great, you have a bingo. We're almost towards the end of the lesson. That's awesome. Can you tell me what acid is and how does acid relate to properties of water? And then have the student narrate that. And maybe have them do, maybe you can have them do all of them so they have to justify their bingo, or you can have them just do a few. And then, you know what, if you're still lecturing, they can hit new board and keep playing as the lecture is going on. And that way they are not only actively engaged and participating in your lecture, but they're also learning a lot of the key skills and concepts that they need to know about properties of water. Now, this wouldn't be something you use for every single lesson, but it would be something that you can use to kind of jazz up your live lessons here, especially as we kind of narrow down and head back to school. But this is something you could easily do in class as well, and print these things out. And if you were lecturing on something and a student got a bingo, you could have them justify back, okay, what are these things mean? And that's a great formative assessment for you. It's great because you can give immediate feedback to the student if they get it incorrect, or another student could give feedback and be like, okay, why isn't this, why did, they had base, but they couldn't relate base to properties of water. Who can relate base to properties of water? And solicit responses from the class. So that's just a quick way. And I just used that Flippity bingo board right here. And I just clicked template. And you just have to make a copy for yourself as the teacher, if my internet will work. And the example they have is just the states. So I just cleared this and I just stuck in instead properties of water. Okay, so I did all the different concepts and skills. Okay, so they give you the templates and then it just works. And you can just paste that right into your WebEx chat and each student can play and you can choose to give them a free space or not, depending on, what you want to do with it. So that is flippity.net. It is free and I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you guys for this mini PD. I hope you guys are doing well and everybody is safe and healthy where you are at. And hopefully I will get to see you in person very soon. Thanks.